Well, it's that time of year, Oscar season.
Oscar season.
So we're going to do an obligatory Oscar video where we talk about what is nominated, what we think is going to win, and what should actually win. Because the Academy notoriously gets it wrong every year. So I'm going to pull up a list of nominees here.
Do you even know why it's called the Oscars? Who's Mr. Oscar?
So let's start at the top of the list, because I don't want to have to scroll in reverse order. Nominated for Best Picture, we have The Big Short, Bridge of Spies, Brooklyn, Mad Max Fury Road, The Martian, The Revenant, Room, and Spotlight. So
I saw
Steve,
3 of those.
which 3 have you seen?
I've seen The Revenant, I've seen The Martian, and I've seen Mad Max Fury Road.
All right, which one do you think is going to win, and which one do you think should win?
Out of those 3?
Well, no, if you could guess the guess.
If I had to guess, I honestly think Mad Max has a pretty decent chance. I feel like that could be a surprise win. I would expect it to win something. Is he nominated? Is George Miller nominated for like Best Director as well? So I would expect him to maybe get one of those.
Okay.
That sounds far out there as far as Oscars go, but I think there's a chance this year. I feel like they'd want to like if they're gonna make a point to nominate something different and show them that like we love movies, it'd probably be that one.
Every once in a while, they throw a bone to people.
Return of the King.
Yeah, Return of the King. So
I feel like Mad Max could be one of those. The Revenant. I didn't think it was anything special. I could see it being a favorite, I guess. Everything else, like Joy, Brooklyn, and The Big Short, all like blend together to me.
Joy's not even nominated.
Oh, it wasn't? Oh, jeez. No. That's why I couldn't even. Yeah, I like movies a lot. I don't know. What have you seen? You've seen most of them.
I've seen most of them. As much as I would love Mad Max Fury Road to win, I don't see it winning. I've seen The Big Short, Bridge of Spies, Mad Max, The Martian, The Revenant, and Spotlight. I have not seen Room or Brooklyn.
I almost forgot about The Martian, though. Like, when I just gave my list.
Yeah.
Because I rewatched it recently, and it's a really, really, really great movie. I liked it way more the second time I saw it than the first time.
So I have not seen Brooklyn or The Room, but I think this is Tommy Wiseau's year. I think The Room is finally going to win.
He was also nominated for Best Director, right? So we'll probably get one of those.
And Best Actor. He's nominated across the board.
Screenplay, too.
Screenplay, yes. So I can't speak to Brooklyn. I can't speak to Room. I wouldn't be surprised if it's The Big Short, because that seems like the kind of movie they'd like to win, which is like, money's evil. Corporations are evil. Look at how good people are when they're not money. Because they don't, the Academy doesn't like big money.
Even though the Academy is
even though the Academy is big money, they don't like
probably the biggest money.
So I could see The Big Short winning. The Big Short versus Spotlight. Just a real quick aside. The Big Short is a zillion times better than Spotlight, because Spotlight is a movie that I've seen 1,000 times before, just with different actors and a different subject. It's very boring. Stylistically, there's no style to it. There's no flair to it. I recognize it's about a sensitive subject, so they can't do what they did in The Big Short, which is like, we're going to have Margot Robbie in a bathtub explain this to you. Like, you can't do that with the subject matter of Spotlight. But the Spotlight was it was a blandly made movie, so I would be disappointed if Spotlight wins. The Revenant, I think, is a technical masterpiece, even if the story is not, in my opinion. Like, it's the whole, they filmed it with natural light, and the authenticity.
Birdman also sort of had that gimmick where it was like
and Birdman
done all in one take.
Yeah, but I think it's a technical masterpiece. So I wouldn't be. Part of me thinks that they would give it to The Revenant if they didn't give it to Birdman last year. Yes. I don't know if they've ever done two back-to-backs.
In Naruto. I don't see Naruto winning 2 years in a row.
Because I don't think... Has anyone? I'm not going to look it up, even though I have the information here.
Not that I can think of.
So I could see it going to The Big Short. I'd like it to go to Mad Max Fury Road. The Martian, I have to watch it a second time. Then I remember I was like, yeah, it's a fine movie.
That's what I thought too the first time I saw it, and then I saw it the second time, and I'm like, oh wait, this is actually a great movie.
Okay.
And I don't know what changed. It was just the environment. I saw it with more people the second time, and like people were like laughing and like were really really into the movie.
Okay.
So and it was definitely something that the group I saw it with, it should not have been their thing, and it was totally their thing. You know what I mean? Like, if I pegged them, I'd be like, oh, they think it's like boring and too long, and they love every single minute of it.
So maybe.
So. And on a technical level too, I remember walking out of that movie being like retroactively surprised with the special effects. Because there wasn't anything I could tell, aside from like the obvious space shots, but there wasn't anything where I was looking at and I'm like, is that CG or is that practical? I can't, like, it looks real but not real enough. Like, there was none of that. I was just, everything, I trusted Ridley Scott and the special effects team to make me believe that he was on Mars.
Great.
So
then flipping over to Best Director, which is basically the same thing, kind of. We have Adam McKay, The Big Short, George Miller, Mad Max, Inarritu, The Revenant, Lenny Abrahamson, Room, and Tom McCarthy, Spotlight. So basically, it's just a whittled down list of Best Picture nominees. Did Inarritu win for Birdman?
I believe he did.
Then it's going to go to George Miller.
Don't quote me on that. But
Then it'll probably be George Miller, maybe Adam McKay, but probably George Miller. This will be their way of appeasing the Mad Max audience without giving it to
the Best Picture. Yeah.
So,
and this also sort of speaks to the problem of the Oscars, where like we're sitting down here doing a prediction video, right?
Yes.
Which is based on nothing.
Yeah.
This isn't like sports where you can say like Denver has the better defense, so they have a better shot. You know what I mean? Or, this isn't even like any other awards thing where it's based on a certain criteria or rubric, or you know what I mean, where we can say this film did X, Y, and Z, so therefore it should win. It is entirely almost random. Like, there's no point in doing it, and that's why there's upsets to begin with.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like Shakespeare in Love over Saving Private Ryan. Both great movies,
and
one is definitely has larger impact later. So
and I used to get more upset about the Oscars until I basically sat down with the mindset of they're not picking the best movie. They're picking the movie they wish they'd see more of, or the best encapsulation of what they think a film can do. So that's when they say blockbusters. We've seen blockbusters. We've seen 7 Star Wars movies now. We don't need to
see another blockbuster.
See another Star Wars, or at least award another Star Wars for being Star Wars. Whereas we haven't seen a Birdman before.
Right. Even Return of the King. Like, we hadn't seen a Return of the King before. There was no fantasy epics.
Yeah.
That were successful.
Yeah, so that's... I don't get as
Saving Private Ryan, we'd seen more movies before.
Yeah, so that's why I don't really get angry. It's more for fun for me. I don't get it, so...
Yeah, no, it's fun. Some people take it kind of seriously, I guess. And we could avoid the Oscars so white discussion.
Yeah. Speaking of Oscars so white, Best Actor.
Oh.
Bryan Cranston, Trumbo, Matt Damon, The Martian, Leo, The Revenant, Fassbender, Steve Jobs, and Eddie Rain Man, The Danish Girl.
I see that as such an easy pick for Everybody Loves Redmayne. Because of the subject matter. And it has honestly nothing to do with him representing a trans person, just so much as him representing somebody who's not himself. I feel like it's like prime, juicy, like Oscar bait, if there ever was one.
That is true. I agree with you. Part of me wonders, though, despite the fact that I thought Leo, no offense, Internet, I thought Leo was the worst part of The Revenant.
Tom Hardy was better.
Tom Hardy was better. Everything about The Revenant was better. Leo, when I was watching the movie, I couldn't separate that, like, you're Leo, and like you're acting the way you always act.
You're seething through your teeth.
Yeah. So I thought that, you know, they said, like, oh, look at all the emotions he conveyed without words, but he conveyed them very one-dimensionally-ish, or
angry.
very at the most basic understanding of this is what anger is.
I know, and people are mistaking what makes good acting with beating the shit out of your actors and filming it for reaction and stuff like that.
But I get the feeling this is going to be one of those almost apology career kind of things.
Year, whatever.
Yeah,
that's happened before.
Yeah, where they gave Al Pacino the award for Scent of a Woman as sort of an apology for not giving it to him for Godfathers or.
That just like undermines the entire Oscars.
Yes.
But it happens.
Yeah, and that's
I would expect,
and that's what I think this is going to be. I think there's enough people who are like, give it to Leo, and they're sitting there like,
okay,
we haven't given you an Oscar yet, Leo, and you really are pretty good. Here, have your stupid bear movie.
He doesn't really strike me as a kind of guy that's angry that he doesn't have an Oscar, though. I don't even know any actors actually that I feel like would be angry that they don't have an Oscar.
Yeah.
Obviously, it would be nice.
I mean, I think everyone would like it.
It's kind of a legitimacy.
Unless you're Marlon Brando and you just send a Native American to get it for you.
Yeah.
On to Best Actress.
Okay.
Kate Blanchett, Carol, didn't see it. Brie Larson, Room, didn't see it. Jennifer Lawrence, Joy, didn't see it. Charlotte Rampling, 45 Years, didn't see it. Saoirse Ronan, Brooklyn, didn't see it.
Does that make us sexist?
This is a 0 for 5 on,
0 for 5 on Best
Actress movies. Oh wait, there's a sixth entry I missed. It's Daisy Ridley, Star Wars: The Force Awakens. I think it's going to be her.
It will probably be her. No, but the thing is, I don't avoid seeing movies on purpose.
Yeah.
Like, I would never be like, oh, that doesn't seem like my thing. I won't be into it. I will always go watch a movie.
Yeah,
pretty much ever.
I actually
honestly,
there was a while when I was trying to find a screen for Brooklyn near me, but I couldn't. Yeah. I'd have to go like an hour and a half out of my way to find it. Best Supporting Actor: Christian Bale, The Big Short; Tom Hardy, The Revenant; Mark Ruffalo, Spotlight; Mark Rylance, Bridge of Spies; Sylvester Stallone, Creed. Christian Bale was also the Leonardo DiCaprio in The Revenant of The Big Short. I thought he was just like, it's whatever.
It's Christian Bale.
What?
It's Christian Bale.
Yeah, it's Christian Bale. He's doing a thing. The fact that Christian Bale got a nomination for Steve Carell is stupid, because Steve Carell was amazing in that movie. Tom Hardy in The Revenant, we just said, was better than Leo.
I'd probably give it to him, honestly.
I would too.
I'm missing some of those movies there, but I was actually impressed. I'm just sort of impressed with Tom Hardy in general, because I think the first time I saw him was Inception, and he just played this.
And he's very chameleon-y.
Yeah, he definitely is. Because then he goes to I think the next thing was Dark Knight Rises as Bane.
Yeah.
So he became Bane for a while, right? Like, you couldn't see him without seeing Bane. But then he played Max in Mad Max, and I thought he did a pretty good chameleon-y job of sort of doing what he had to do there.
Apparently he was a bitch to work with off screen, though, because he would stay in character, and Charlize Theron's like, man, it sure is hot out today, and he'd be like,
excellent. No, but it clearly pays off, because then you see him in The Revenant, and he is playing something I've never seen him play before, and sell me on it. It was like a gross frontiersman who's trying to do what he thinks he's supposed to do to survive, basically. I didn't blame him for any of his actions. He was an asshole more than he had to be, but I didn't blame him for any of the decisions that he made.
Mark Rylance in Bridge of Spies. Bridge of Spies was one of the bigger letdowns for me. I got it. I understand what it was, and when they in Spielberg, it's a movie about negotiations and paranoia, so it's not going to be an exciting movie. It's going to be just a low-key tense movie, but that was kind of a letdown for me, because Tom Hanks' character negotiates for the lives of two men. And then in the credits afterwards, where it says what people went on to do, it's Tom Hanks' character would go on to rescue 9,000 troops after the Bay of Pigs invasion. Make a movie out of that.
Isn't that a rule where if you're writing about a character and you're not telling us about the most interesting part of his life, that's what you should be doing? And 9,000 sounds way more interesting than two people.
And it's it's the same basic deal because it's still going against communism.
Maybe the sequel, it's like the Human Centipede.
Bridge of Spies.
With Tom Hanks' negotiation.
Boat of Spies.
Boat of Spies.
Or Bay of Spies.
The 9,000... whatever. I was trying to make a, like, Human Centipede full sequence title-esque joke, but I had nothing to go off of. I haven't seen the movie. Bridge of Spies full sequence. That's my joke.
It was fine. It was just... You picked the wrong event, Steve. Not you, Steve. Spielberg, Steve.
I picked the wrong event before, too.
Okay. Best Supporting Actress. Jennifer Jason Leigh, The Hateful Eight. Rooney Mara, Carol. Rachel McAdams, Spotlight. Alicia Vikander, Viking. The Danish Girl. Kate Winslet, Steve Jobs.
Okay, so I had only seen Jennifer Jason Leigh in Hateful Eight.
Yes.
But enjoyed her performance much better in Anomalisa this year, which was Kaufman Brothers animation.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, I could have my only vote, I guess.
Yeah.
She's a talented actress.
I'm going to vote for her that one too because I haven't seen the other three, and I don't want to give it to Rachel McAdams' Spotlight because that performance was boring. And
Rachel McAdams, like True Detective Season 2?
Yes, same one. And there was just that. It was just a boring performance. It was just like, we need to stop. There was actually a couple like stupid lines to go back to complaining about the Spotlight. So obviously it's about pedophilia.
Hello,
right?
welcome to our review on Spotlight.
Yeah. This is just an excuse for us to complain about movies that we couldn't review before,
or talk trash about movies we haven't seen.
Yes. So obviously it's about pedophilia in the church, and there's one line when she's just, and it's a serious line. She's like they're gonna pay for diddling little boys, and I was like, you couldn't have said that any better. Because,
that was the line that she was given?
And it's one step away from like a Danny DeVito line in Always Sunny, where it's like you're trying to make like a
weird
comedy
joke. Out of it. Yeah.
We gotta definitely write a song about how we do not diddle kids. Do not diddle kids, it's no good diddling kids.
There is no quicker way for people to think that you are diddling kids than by writing a song about it.
And so it's just like...
it undercuts any seriousness.
Yeah.
Sorry, Rachel McAdams.
Sorry, Rachel.
You've been voted off.
Jennifer Jason Leigh gets it. Can I talk about, spoiler alert, Hateful Eight?
Yes.
How it was great when I was watching it in the theater. I saw it in a 70mm. When Kurt Russell puked all over her. And the entire audience was like, ah! And I was like, come on, guys. Did you not see that coming? This is Quentin Tarantino we're talking about here. Okay. Spoilers are over. Best original screenplay: Bridge of Spies, Ex Machina, Inside Out, Spotlight, Straight Outta Compton. I've seen all of these movies, actually. Yeah,
really?
only 5. This is the one I'm most qualified to talk about.
I have only seen one of those, I believe. I didn't see Ex Machina. I somehow missed that. I mean, I saw Inside Out, and if I had to make an argument against one that should not get it, it would be Inside Out.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I thought Inside Out had a good idea that would have been better off as like a short film instead of a full-length feature. I thought it started out good. I thought it ended good. I thought everything in between was like typical child's adventure trope stuff.
Yeah, Inside Out lost me the most when they went into like the abstract and like
it was a little draggy.
I don't like when you attempt to apply rational thought to irrational thinking.
Just like in general.
Well, like I hate.
And here it is.
I don't think that there's ever been, and I've watched all 6 seasons of Sopranos, I don't think there's ever been a dream sequence that I have ever liked.
Except in The Sopranos?
No, including The Sopranos. Okay. I hate dream sequences because it's irrational thought. I hate subconscious because it's irrational thought. It's just these conflicting emotions bouncing all over the place with just random sparks of whatever. And when you try to apply meaning to it, and that's what a lot of Inside Out was, I didn't like that.
Oh, so okay, I get you. I thought you were talking about a specific moment in the movie.
Yeah, well,
the concept. I got you.
I liked it a little bit. I liked, like you said, the beginning and the end.
It was fun. It was fun to see these representations.
But when there was that the part where they go into abstract thought and they're just being deconstructed into shapes, I didn't like that. There's some there's like that fluffy like place where the boyfriend machine was. The boyfriend machine was funny.
Yeah.
But that whole portion I didn't like. I liked it more when it was just the emotions playing off each other.
Yep.
That was what I liked most about the dream, or the movie. And I didn't like how the trailer spoiled the ending for me, which was, I knew that there was the scene where she runs home and like hugs her parents and is crying. That was in the trailer.
Oh.
That's like the big emotional blow. And it pissed me off.
Make better trailers.
I want to give it to Ex Machina only because Ex Machina wasn't nominated for anything else.
Mm-hmm. See, here we go again.
Undercutting everything the Oscars is about,
just to throw people breadcrumbs.
But I do think actually out of those 5, it was probably the best. Ex Machina was great.
Yeah. Everybody says they really like it up until the very end.
I liked it including the very end.
Okay.
Because
I'll keep that in mind.
I don't want to say why I like it.
No spoilers.
No spoilers. Ex Machina was great. And side note, Domhnall Gleeson's had a banner year. He's been in 4 Academy Award nominated movies.
No kidding. What are the other ones?
He was in Ex Machina, he was in The Revenant, he was in Star Wars The Force Awakens, and he was in Brooklyn.
Oh.
Who's his agent? Let's get his number. Because...
You want to get him on a Nerd Talk?
Yeah, let's get him on a Nerd Talk.
Get us into Oscar-nominated movies. Just background characters.
Yeah. Best Original Score. Bridge of Spies, Carol, The Hateful Eight, Sicario, Star Wars The Force Awakens. The Bridge of Spies, I can't... Music sucked in that movie. It was so forgettable.
Yeah, I would believe that.
Hateful Eight was great.
Yep.
Sicario, what else was Sicario? Sicario should have way more nominations.
Sicario was my favorite movie that I saw last year.
Yeah.
For sure. Even over Mad Max, IMO.
Yeah. Sicario has been...
So I would give it to Sicario because Sicario deserves an Oscar.
Yes, but you're forgetting that Star Wars The Force Awakens is on the list.
I'm sure it's nominated for something else
that
it could get.
I'm actually going to give that one to Hateful Eight.
Yeah, that's a safe bet. I really don't care about who gets... I have no vested
And here's why.
emotions.
Because if we're trying to be fair and make sure everyone gets their Oscar, the award that Sicario gets is Best Cinematography.
Okay, all right.
Which is Carol, Hateful Eight, Mad Max, Revenant, Sicario, and it's Sicario.
It's Sicario,
all the
hands
way.
down. Yep.
All the way. Sicario killed it. So Sicario, all the way. And then we'll just do Best Visual Effects because we'll say the one that Star Wars is probably going to win. Out of Star Wars, The Revenant, The Martian, Mad Max, and Ex Machina, I could see it going to... That's a rough one.
Tough category.
That's a rough one, right?
Man, 2015 was a good year for special effects. Damn.
I won't say The Martian because...
I already went into why it is so good with the special effects.
But...
I would understand if it went to any of the other ones.
Star Wars, I wouldn't be surprised if they give it to Star Wars, because if we're going out of the hole, the Academy likes to make a point with their Oscars, then I'd say they'll probably give it to Star Wars because they want to be like, practical effects, stop overly CGIing things, because Star Wars made a point to say, look at all these practical effects. And Hollywood...
Unlike some other movies that made that promise this year, Jurassic World. Sorry,
but I think it'll go to Star Wars if they want to prove a point about special effects. The Revenant, there was really only one.
There wasn't really any crazy special effects. Some of the long takes were impressive.
Some of the long takes were impressive, and then the bear obviously.
Yeah, the bear was
real.
I thought they did a really good job though. The physicality of
the bear did a great job.
Yeah,
fake bear.
But
they did
a great job. Were you being facetious? I couldn't tell. Yeah, okay, you're right.
No, it was great.
No, it was really good. Also, Mad Max put my jaw on the floor with the kind of stunts that they were pulling at the same time. More so than I think any of the other effects did. So,
they might put. Well, in film editing, they have Big Short, Mad Max, Revenant, Spotlight. Stop nominating Spotlight for things. It wasn't that good. They might give editing to Mad Max. If Big Short wins Best Picture, they'll give it to Mad Max. If Big Short doesn't win Best Picture, they'll give the Best Editing to Big Short. Because Big Short was an excellently edited movie. See, this is the stupid thing you have to do with the Oscars, is all these contingencies. They don't give things to the best thing.
Do they actually like sit down and talk about this, or they just sort of vote?
They vote.
But everybody knows what everybody's thinking.
Everyone knows what everyone's thinking. I'm sure there's like veto power. I'm sure like there's more powerful people in the Academy. And just the Academy doesn't care about things. They just do whatever they want.
Let's cap this conversation with Oscars so white, hashtag. But let's talk about the changes that they actually plan on doing to the Academy. Because I think one of the complaints that people have, regardless of what actually gets nominated, is that it's just a bunch of old white guys in a room patting each other on the back, for lack of another expression.
Yeah.
How do you think the changes that they employed are going to affect the Oscars moving forward?
They're fine. They're good. Obviously, they're a step in the right direction. There's half of my brain that's saying, like, obviously, Straight Outta Compton should have gotten a directorial nod for sure. Probably an acting nod as well, to either Ice Cube's son or guy who played Eazy-E. And then the fact that Creed got nothing but screenplay, and Stallone got an Oscar nomination.
Right.
That's part of my brain that's like, look at all these movies. But at the same time, part of me's like, maybe we should just, maybe the problem is only exacerbated by the Academy, and you need more diversity in the actual movies.
Yes.
Because part of the thing that bothers me about stay with me. Part of the thing that bothers me about minority-led movies is that
everybody is gearing.
They're gearing
They're
up.
above their keyboards.
I don't like how the minority-led movies are a good chunk of the time about the cause.
Yeah, no, I know what you mean, and I'm predicting that's where you're going with that conversation. 12 Years a Slave.
12 Years a Slave. You know what?
Django Unchained.
As fun as Django Unchained was, it was about slavery.
Yep.
12 Years a Slave is about slavery. The Color Purple, about slavery. Like, there's... Maybe a black person just wants to go and watch a fun action movie with a black man in the lead.
Yep. Yeah, I think that those are valid points. I also think I understand people's frustrations with some of the Academy rule changes. Wow, what a catch-22. Because on the other hand, I really like the idea that they're bringing in younger, fresher people into the Academy and sort of pushing older crowds out, just because you're going to have people that are into different things, right? Like, tastes in general, like race, like not being able to see race or sexuality or anything like that is something that younger people are more in tune to, so you'll get more transparent nominations, I think, naturally. I don't think anybody would ever nominate something just to like check boxes. I really think most people are above that, but I think people will just be more conscious of issues that are, like, obviously Straight Outta Compton in 2015, there's a reason that movie came out this year. Like, there's a lot of social commentary that you could say went along with it.
And a lot of parallels.
Right, exactly. And I think that a younger audience would recognize that and give the movie more nods for what it was trying to do. As opposed to an older audience who may not see that connection, or,
It's like, I don't like hip-hop music.
Right, exactly. And I'm not saying that, you don't want to stereotype against old white guys, but no, I think it's probably for the better.
Yeah.
And it fixes the problem of like the systematic thing where you're bringing in younger people without doing the like checkbox thing. I just repeated myself basically.
That's fine.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think though that there's more diversity needed in movies. Regardless, Star Wars: The Force Awakens
was super good. Because of it.
And you can't say, well, look, female-led and minority-led movies can still sell, because obviously Star Wars: The Force Awakens was propelled by the brand.
Right.
So
people are going to see it
was
regardless of
who's
who's starring.
But it proved that people won't not
dislike
see
a movie because of that.
No, with the exception of the fringe, 7 or 8
MRA,
people who
whatever.
went on the internet and said, "Oh, we're gonna boycott Star Wars." They clearly, whether or not they actually did boycott, which I doubt they did, even if they did, they failed.
No way they did.
They failed horribly. It affected the box office.
Yeah.
So,
but the thing is, people don't even notice when they go to see a Star Wars movie. They're not paying attention
Yeah.
to, and that's the argument that people against diversification are saying, which is it shouldn't matter if it's a white guy anyway. But it also doesn't matter
if it shouldn't matter that it's a white guy, then it also shouldn't matter that it's a person of color.
You encourage diversity. I think you'll get more interesting results. I think Star Wars is all the better for the diversity.
Yes.
Honestly,
And I think
more
that
interesting.
And I think that this maybe it was a political. I mean, obviously, I know it was a political move from Disney because they wanted to rope in a female audience and
everything else about the prequels.
But I think that now you could say, look, we started with a safe movie, a safe minority female-led movie. It worked. So then Marvel will then come through and DC will come through and they'll make their branded Marvel and DC, but still kind of an original movie starring a minority or a woman. And I think that they'll start getting riskier and riskier because that's what accountants want to see. Accountants don't care about diversity.
Well, but also, not to cut you off, but that kind of gets to the heart of the problem that Hollywood has with other things, where they latch on to the wrong reasons why things were successful in the first place. Like, wasn't like the next X-Men movie could be rated R?
It was hilarious because Deadpool
is killing it at the box
office, and James Gunn goes on Facebook and writes this rant. It's like, Hollywood, don't take the wrong lessons from this. Every movie doesn't need to be rated R. Movies that should be rated R should be rated R. Movies that should be rated PG-13 should be rated PG-13. And immediately it's just like, Wolverine 3, rated R. Within 24 hours. It was astounding. And that's example. I mean, Wolverine, you could make the argument Wolverine could work with an R because he's been pretty brutal.
In some ways, maybe you could say that it has given them the courage to portray the character as they want, a little more realistically. Maybe it'll probably flop.
The Wolverine movies haven't, out of all the X-Men movies, the Wolverines have been on the weaker side out of the box office. Movies, box office, you got to separate the art from the politics, from the money, because movies will always be a big amorphous ball of all three of those, and blame can only be assigned to some of them, and it's to try to find the systematic problems is difficult. And Star Wars: The Force Awakens was great.
Honestly, who cares about the Oscars?
I don't. I watch them because they're fun.
Go watch them, get friends, eat food, drink a beverage of your choice,
and just have fun.
And just have fun and riff the entire night. And tweet riff and tweet at me, and tweet at Nerdy Inc.
Yeah, it's fine. Who cares? It's not important.
Who cares?
It's not important at all.
Are we a nihilist channel?
Maybe we're nihilists. Maybe we're realists. Maybe.
What's the difference?
Yeah, I know, right? So, there you have it. There was our...
If you ever needed a reason to subscribe to this channel...
There it is.
There it was.
So that is our Oscars/general film industry discussion video. If you have your predictions, write them in the comments below. If you're watching this after the Oscars come out, please don't laugh at us too much for getting everything wrong. And then...
Or praise us if
we got all right. So, but yeah, basically only...
But the Oscars doesn't matter anyway, so don't sweat it.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. So if you enjoyed this video, like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff is much appreciated, and we will see you next time.